And hello, fellow gamers. I am back once again. This time I am playing Fairchild Channel F, of all things. Give you a little background story on it. The Fairchild Channel F was the first cartridge-based video game console that had the actual video game software on the cartridges stored on a ROM chip. Up until that point, there had only been the Magnavox Odyssey, the very first Odyssey, and it used what they called game cards, but really what they were was it was still a card that you slid into the console, into a cartridge slot, but there was no software on the card. It was just a different way of wiring up the internal switches that would determine which game you played that was already built into the console. And so, because of that, there were a limited number of games that you could play on the Odyssey one. There was only so many different ways of wiring up those switches to change the gameplay, to make it into a different game. After that, there was a series of dedicated consoles released that only played one or two games, did not take cartridges, and so the Fairchild Channel F was the first that came with a microprocessor built in, and allowed you to play either the two built-in games, or allowed you to slide in a cartridge that had more games on it. So in theory, they could keep producing cartridges forever with more games on them and get unlimited mileage out of this console. Of course, you and I both know that that never happens. Consoles have a finite life, and there's only so many cartridges produced for a given console. But at the time, that idea was revolutionary. It had never been done, and of course it went on to become the standard. So today, you and I, the idea of buying a console and then buying games and putting the game into the console is just the way it's done, and that's the way it's been done for a long time. But when the Fairchild Channel F was released, it was a brand new thing. The controllers on it are certainly interesting. This is one of the controllers right here, and this is how you hold it, actually. In fact, I'll get closer to you on camera as close as I can, because these are hardwired into the console, which you know how much I love that. That is the controller. Like I said, you hold it like that, and you control it with the knob here on the top. The knob, and no, I am not holding my dick right now. See if I can get that down a little further into the shot so you can actually see it. Otherwise, it's pretty useless. This knob on the top, you can do several things with it. You can twist it left and right. That counts as different actions. You can tilt it like a joystick in 8 different directions. Or you can push it down, which is like a button, or you can pull it up, which is like a button. So, yeah, very unusual design, and not one that was ever really repeated as far as I know. I'm going to first try the two built-in games, which are hockey and tennis, and then I have 3 cartridges that I'm going to play. Each of those, most of those have multiple games on them as well. Cartridges could come with up to 4 games on them, and you select the game you want to play with the buttons on the console, which you can't see, but there's buttons numbered 1 through 4, and whenever you first turn on the console, it presents you with this screen, the G question mark screen. The G stands for game. It's asking you what game you want to play. As you can see, there's some graphical glitches on the screen. There's some red dots on the left-hand side, and there's that row of blue, purple, whatever dots towards the right. And I can't seem to get rid of those. Sometimes whenever I turn on the console, there are more or fewer of those blue dots around where that line is, but I can't get the line to disappear, and I can't get the blocks on the left to disappear. So we're just going to have to deal with it. That's what we get. The cartridges are actually quite large for a video game cartridge, for the time anyway. That is 1 cartridge right there. That is cartridge number 1. They all came on numbered cartridges. All cartridges were produced by Fairchild, manufactured and released. As far as I know, there was no third-party development for the Fairchild Channel F, and eventually a different company bought them over, or bought out the console and the games, and so a different company started making software and producing cartridges, but they still said Fairchild on them. Let's see, what else can I say about this? Also nice about this console is they were thinking ahead in the design of the cartridges, in that there's a couple of things to note about them. Number 1, the cartridges have built-in protection for the connectors. That's the end of the cartridge that you see right there. It's got the label there on the end. This is the end that you slide into the console, and when you slide into it, there's some catches on the bottom that flip this thing open right here. And then right in there, you can see with the card edge of the PCB inside, and that's what plugs into the console. So that door right there is spring-loaded. It automatically snaps shut as soon as you pull it out, which keeps the dust out. Very nice. See if I can show you an example of, yeah, one of the games that I'm going to play also has right on the label, and I know there's no way you can read that, but I'll show it to you anyway and pretend that you can see it. It actually has instructions. That's what that block of white is right there with the text in there. It tells you instructions on how to control the game. So they were planning ahead, knowing that people were going to lose the instructions. It just so happens that for that particular game, I do have the instruction manual, which is right here. The instruction manuals are actually, they are simplistic in presentation, but they get right to the point, and they don't trump it up with a lot of big words or anything. They just kind of tell you what you need to know, which is nice. Not all of the cartridges have the instructions on the label. Seems like only the later cartridges do. Crap, what order did I have these in? Yeah, I think I had it like that. Okay. Let's see, what else can I say about the console? I don't know. So I guess that means let's start playing it. Like I said, there's 2 games built into the console. There's hockey and tennis. I'm going to play hockey first, which I push the 1 button to do that. You see, it added some more blue little dots up there whenever it switched games. See if I can clear those off there and reset the console. Sometimes that helps. And sometimes it puts more of them back up there. Bitch. Reset. I actually got the manual and the original box for the system too, and one of the things that the manual says is right after you turn on the console, you should push the reset button. And in my testing of the cartridges that I got, that's definitely the case. Sometimes you turn it on and it's completely glitched all the fuck, but you push the reset button and suddenly it works. Don't know why. I also have, for 2 of the cartridges I got, the original boxes. And that's what they look like right there. And this is literally no bigger than the cartridge itself. It just barely fits in there. On the back, it has descriptions of each of the games on the cartridges and a screenshot of each one. So it's amazing how many things that Fairchild did with the design of the console that effectively established standards, I guess. Like, there's so many things about it that just make sense to people like you and I that have grown up with games being designed and released and manufactured and presented a certain way. But this was all new for them at the time. Anyway, that's enough fucking blabbing. I'm just going to deal with the dots and go into game 1 here. So this is hockey. It is a 2-player game, and there's not a second player, so this should be pretty easy. There might be a way of playing it that where the computer controls the other opponent, but I don't feel like figuring that out. It's asking me another question here on the screen, the S question mark, and I don't remember what that means. It does not mean speed. That's a different thing. That's im, which they call movement. I don't remember what they said the S meant, though. But I do know that by default, whenever you select a game, the very next button you can hit is 4 to just start the game with default, so that's what I'm going to do. Now, one thing you notice immediately is that there is absolutely no sound coming through the video signal. The sound that you're hearing right now, that beeping sound, is coming out of the console itself. This was before they figured out how to mix sound in with the video. The Fairchild Channel F2 was a slight redesign of this console, and its sound did output over the video cable. So the sound that you're hearing right now, I hope, is being picked up by the microphone. Anyway, let's play. So in this game, I can move the paddle up and down. I can move it left and right. I can move it all around the playfield. And I can twist the knob to tilt to rotate in that direction. And it stops rotating when I let off of it. And the computer somehow still got a point. Let's hit it up there. Let's go really crazy. The one thing I found out while testing these games is in this hockey game, the only way you get the ball to go in a different direction is by tilting or rotating the paddle. Because you could just sit like this forever and nothing will ever happen. But if you tilt it a little bit, you get it to bounce at an angle. And there we go. Which means I could probably just do that. And there I've broken the game. Twist it a little bit, hit it, and I'm done. Twist, hit, done. Apparently I cannot back up any further than that. The pull up and push down functions for this is if I pull up, it moves my goalie up. You see that rectangle pair moved up a little bit. If I push it down, it moves my goalie down. So why not just keep it right there in the middle, because it's not like it makes a difference. Anyway, so that's hockey. I think you get the general idea. Hey, Jormware has joined us in the chat. Welcome. I'm playing some really old shit today. This time I'm going to play tennis. Game number 2 built into the console. Again, I don't know what the S means, so just hit forward to start the game. Again, this is a 2-player game. In this game, there is no... The difference between this and hockey is obviously number 1. The ball direction is not dependent on rotating the paddle, because you cannot rotate the paddle in this game mode. And number 2, there are no walls behind the paddles. Hitting the ball anywhere that direction counts as winning. Oh, see what happened there? I somehow hit the ball after it had already passed me. But not that time. Also, plunging up and down on the controller doesn't do anything in this game mode either. So I think we get the general idea here. It's Pong. It's just a Pong clone. So I think we're done doing that. One thing I did not see in the manual is whether or not you were supposed to turn the power off before you insert a cartridge, which is what I'm about to do. So just to be safe, because I don't want to blow this thing up. Not right after I got it. I'm going to turn off and put in video cart number 1. This cartridge has 4 games on it. It has Tic-Tac-Toe, Shooting Gallery, Doodle, and Quadra-Doodle. Also interesting about this console is you slide the cartridges into the front of the console, not into the top. So in that way it's kind of like the NES, except after you push the cartridge in, the cartridge still sticks out a little bit. So power on, and reset. That cleared some of the dots, and I'm going to play game number 1. So this is Tic-Tac-Toe. This game you do play against the computer. You use the stick to move that cursor around in the grid to wherever you want to put it. And I believe you pull up to put an X, and then the computer gets a turn, it puts an O, or you push down on the controller to reset the game. So let's see if I can get the computer to fall for the classic thing. Put an X here, and I'll put an X here. Aha, it went there. And put an X there. And now I automatically win because there was 2 possible places that he could have gone. There we go. You win! So, that's the gist of that. Let's reset. And I'm gonna intentionally lose this time just to see what happens. Come on, I'm giving you openings. Let's go right there. You lose turkey? Damn! This game's harsh. Just called me a fucking turkey. I kind of want some turkey right now. That'd be good. Get some tryptophan going. Anyway, why not? Why not do another one? Do an X, and it's weird in this positioning the cursor. You can only go left or right. So you go right twice, and then you go right again to skip down to the next row. So go down to there, and I go here, and I go here to win the game. Not much more to it than that. There probably is a 2-player mode on this, but I don't know how to access it. Maybe that's what the S is for. The S question mark. Reset. We're going to try game number 2. Shooting Gallery, as it's called. And it just resets and goes back to the beginning. Try 2 again. Okay, let's try full reset. I don't remember if I did that or not. 2. It's like it crashes or something and then resets the console. It's weird. That does not seem to be working. No shooting gallery. Damn, I would have liked to have seen what that was like. Okay, game number 3. This is Doodle. I was playing this earlier. I think this is 2-player, that's why there's 2 dots on the screen there. Or not. Because this is the right controller, it's moving that dot, and this is the left controller, and it's moving the same dot. So I don't know what that other dot is down there. Maybe that's a glitch. In this, there's a few things you can do. You can pull the stick up, which increases the size of your pen. There are several different pen sizes, and you keep pulling up to cycle through them. Eventually getting all the way back to that. What happens if you push down? Does that just reset? Yeah, it just resets. And then if you twist to the right, it changes colors. If you twist to the left, it turns on draw mode. So now wherever I move the cursor, that's where it will draw. Twist it off, or twist to the left again to turn off draw mode. And I'm gonna try different color and the most biggest big-ass pen size that I can, which I think is this one. Turn that on and see if I can get so much crap on the screen that I crash the console. Because it's only got so much memory. Well, presumably it's got enough memory for the screen at least. But as for like on-screen elements, I don't know exactly how much it can take before it'll break. Because these early consoles had very, very, very limited sprite support. The Fairchild Channel F may actually not have sprite support. Oh, I can draw over these boxes. That's cool. Wonder what happens if I pick a different color. Try and draw over them. Which, by the way, that to the right is the extent of the screen there. The change color. Change to red. Try and draw over these dead boxes. Oh, that's weird. They're still there, but now they're a different color. Weird. Let's reset. I'm going to do something very, very childish here. See if I can get it to cooperate long enough to do this. Okay, did that right. And there we go, we have an erection. See, Jormore says, was something like a console-based drawing program ever more than a novelty? Just a toy, basically. I don't think it was ever more than a novelty or a toy, because it's so limited what you can do with these controls, and with the capabilities of this drawing program. If you want to see a really, really shitty drawing toy, check out the Angry Video Game Nerd. His 12 Days of Shitsmiths series. One of those features the LJN Video Art, which was a self-contained console that had barely more capabilities than this, and yet it advertised itself as a drawing toy. Like that was its main feature, and it wasn't any better than this. And it was released several years after this. This was released in 1976. So that means the Fairchild Channel F, the console, is 40 years old this year. 40. That's even older than me. I don't know if this particular console is that old. I don't know when it was manufactured. It'd be cool if it was one of the first ones manufactured. Hell, maybe it's the first one ever manufactured. I don't know. So that's Doodle. I'm going to reset and do Quadra-Doodle. Quadra-Doodle, you don't do a goddamn thing. You just sit back and you let it do the drawing. The description for Quadra-Doodle claims that it will draw a different thing every time. And it also says it's great for parties. Okay. Still kind of neat, though. I mean, just to get it to do this, had to have taken a certain amount of programming. And from what I read about the hardware capabilities of the Fairchild Channel F, almost all of its RAM was dedicated to video, and there was very, very little left over for software. So getting it to do anything was basically a miracle. So see, this is sort of neat. I would actually be interested in leaving this on for a while, like leaving it on for a couple of hours and then coming back to it and see what it had drawn, and maybe taking screenshots of that. Of course, I'm not going to do that, because that's going to be a boring as hell stream. Jormware says digital spirograph. That's kind of what this is, yeah. I remember spirograph. It was a gimmick. Still kind of neat, but also very gimmicky. Anyway, I think we get this. And that's the last game on this cartridge. So, pop that out. The cartridges are actually spring-loaded when you push them in. They click into place, and then there's an eject button that you push down, and then they pop out a little bit, and then you pull it out the rest of the way. Again, good design. Good hardware design. I mean, hell, the Atari VCS, which was later called the 2600, didn't have any of that. You just crammed the cartridge into the top, and you could rip it out whenever you wanted to. Interesting to note, whenever the Fairchild Channel F was first released, it was called the Fairchild Video Entertainment System. And then a couple of years later, along came Atari with the Atari VCS, like I said, which stood for Video Computer System. And so since that name was so close to Video Entertainment System, Fairchild changed the name to Channel F, and that's what stuck for the rest of its production run. So some of these cartridges don't say anything about the console on them, and then the later cartridges actually say Channel F on them. So, okay, that's cartridge 1. Now I'm going to do cartridge 3, which is Video Blackjack. Push that in there and fire it up. Going to do even though it looks like it's okay, I'm going to do a reset anyway. And we have less glitches on the left-hand side of the screen, so that's cool. And I believe this is the only game on this cartridge, so just hit the 1 button. And here we go. I was playing this a little bit earlier, and I don't know what cut means right here. But, how did I start the game? Okay. I pull up on the stick, and this is 2 players plus a dealer player. The left player is in the lower left, and the right player is in the lower right, and the dealer is going to be at the top of the screen. It's asking me how much I want to bet on this particular hand right now, and so you can twist the stick to the right to increment the right digit of your number, and you can keep cycling through until it wraps back around. And you can twist the stick to the left to increment the left number. I'm going to say 10. Why not? Pull up, or is it push down? Push down, that bet is entered, and since I don't give a shit about player right, I'll just push that in there. We get dealt our cards. And let's see. Tell you what, I'm going to let the chat be player number 2. Chat, what do you want to do? Do you want to hit, or do you want to stay on that hand? You have an ace and a 6. I have an 8 and a 2, and the dealer has 9 and something. So, my cards add up to 10, so I'm definitely going to hit. So how do I do that? Up? Or is it... How do I hit? Or is it telling me that the cursor is on player 2, I guess, so it's player 2's turn? Because they show the highest hand, I guess. So Jormware says stay, so they're staying on that hand. I'm going to hit. Ooh, 20. Okay, I'm definitely staying there. And I won the hand. Okay. I also turn over the betting to the chat. So, chat, how much do you want to bet on this hand? I guess you can bet up to 99, and the numbers at the top of the screen, the top left is the amount of money I have, I think, and the top right is the amount of money you have. I'm going to continue to bet 10. So, how much you want to bet, Jormware? He wants to bet 10 schmeckles. Yeah, we have no idea what these units are. It could be sauteed raccoons' assholes on a stick. We don't know. So he says 10. So gonna go up to 0 there and 1 there. Put in the bet. I'm also going to bet 10. Okay. So again, Jormware, you show the highest hand, so you can hit or stay. For this one, I'm going to stay, because that is a 17. Interactivity. Isn't it fun? There's a bit of a delay, of course, but that's fine. I got plenty of time. Jormware says hit. So... Crap, I forget. Have I been... Hit. Okay. Push down to hit. And so now hit or stay, Jormware. Yeah. Jormware says there's a lag, I guess. Yeah, there's quite a lag. It's at least 15 to 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds. Oh, look at that. Stream's fucking up. Imagine that. And now it's fine again. Okay. Jormware says ride the wave. Okay, he wants to hit. So, okay. So again, hit or stay, Jormware. That's at least an 18. It's still possible. I wonder if this implements the house rule, because one of the rules I think that applies to Blackjack is if you get 5 cards without busting, you automatically win. Kind of wish there was some music going on right now, but you're just going to have to enjoy the soft, sweet melodies of my voice. Jormware wants to stay. No, damn it! Oh, piss. I hit the wrong button, I'm sorry. You know what, just to make that fair, I'm going to hit until I bust as well. Okay. So now we're effectively right where we were because we both bet 10. So, for this hand, I'm going to bet 10 again. How much would you like to bet, Jormware? I just have to remember that how this works is it's sort of like the table. And oh, no, I was reading the chat. Jormware says, "Sweet your times are, my smeckles." What I was going to say is, to remember which way is hit. Typically, if you're playing blackjack, you tap the table if you want to hit, and so that's what you do. You push down, like tapping down. Okay, Jormware says he'll keep betting 10 for lag's sake. So that's that. And bet entered. Okay. I'm definitely going to hit when it becomes my turn. Oh, okay, I think Jormware was a victim of the autocorrect gremlin before. When he said "sweet your times are," he meant "sweet your tones are," perhaps. So that's good, though. You can hear it, though. The microphone's picking that up. Okay, he wants to stay. So, stay. I'm going to hit 15, 16, 17. I'm going to stay as well. And you won the hand, Jormware. Excellent. He said he's going to continue to bet 10. I will as well. Whoa, what happened? What happened? It automatically fed Jormware another card, and then he busted. I swear I didn't touch anything. Anyway, I will take another card. And I will definitely stay, because that's 20. Alright. So... hell, let's go crazy. Let's bet 99. 89. And off we go. New hand. I'm going to stay when it is my turn. Jormware says hit. Down comes another card. I'm not exactly sure why there's so much lag here. I do have it set on the optimize for interaction setting, so there should be the least amount of lag possible, but there's still a lot of lag. And I know that it's not on my side either, because when I test my audio, it only takes it between when I say something and when I hear it, when I'm testing, to... it only takes like 2 seconds before I hear it. Jormware says, just think, people used to play chess by mail. I know, god damn, that had to take forever. I would never do that, and I don't really like to play chess either. So anyway, Jormware would like to stay. And I'm staying as well. Dealer bust. And we both win. That was a tie. Holy shit. Listen to that. Listen to that count up. Jormware says it may be on my end. Who knows? No, it is actually. I can see the lag when I'm monitoring the stream here. Like, right now I'll hold up my finger, and then when I see it on the screen, I'll say so. Still waiting for it. It hasn't shown up yet. There it is. Oh my god, how long was that? That was an eternity in gaming terms. Okay. I think we're done with Blackjack. That was fun, though. Chat interactivity. Chat playing a game along with me. So that goes over there. And the final cartridge that I'm going to play is cartridge number 8, which has Mind Reader and Nim on it. Jormor says, "Oh geez," in reference to the finger lag. Yeah, I know. It's hideous. Give that a reset. And we want to play game number 1. Again, I don't know what the S means, so start the game. And now what this is, it's sort of like Hangman, but with numbers. And so the computer has selected a 3-digit number randomly, and I'm supposed to guess what it is, and the computer will give me hints as to what it is. I move left and right to move this cursor left and right, and then I rotate the stick up or down to guess the number, and then I think I hit down to enter. The computer has said HTT. The H means that I have one number that is in the right position. The TT means each of those mean that I have a number that needs to be transposed or moved to another position. Now, what I didn't figure out when I was playing this before is, do those hints apply to the entire thing, or are they positionally indicative? What that means is that H, does that mean that I have a number in the correct first position? So I'll do a little test here. I'll do 1 and then 2. And come on. And okay, now it changed to HT. So apparently I now only have one digit that needs to be transposed. I think the H does mean that I have 1 in the proper position. Maybe. Maybe. Jormor says, the secret of Nim? No, Nim is actually apparently an ancient 2-player game of sorts, and I'll explain that when I get to it. He also says maybe the S is asking start. Could be. Could be, yeah. Because there's some other questions that it asks, like I said, M refers to movement, and T refers to time. Because those are things you can configure by pushing the buttons on the front of the console. Because the buttons have multiple functions and they're all labeled on the console. If I could pick the console up and show it to you, I would. Hey, Kitsune has joined us. He says, "Damn it, Jeremy, can't you cast something with a color palette larger than a kindergartner's box of crayons?" Oh man, but there's so much mileage in these old simple color games. But yeah, I know the NES is capable of what, like 16 simultaneous colors? And most of the games I've played have been NES or earlier. Anyway, let's see. So, I'm gonna guess that the 0 is in the right place. So let's try 2 and 3. Okay, now I do not have a digit on the right place. Okay, so that's not what that means. So I started off with a digit in the right place, and I did 0, 1, 2, and I still had a digit in the right place. But how can that be? This is giving me conflicting information. I don't know. 1, 2, 3? Okay, so it says transpose again. So Let's try 132. Again, transpose one digit. And the transpose also means that it doesn't mean that I can transpose any one of those digits. It means one of them is correct, but it's in the wrong place. Kitsune says you should pipe your webcam feed through AAlib. I don't know what that is. Sounds like a Linux thing. Probably some kind of audio modifying thing. Although I will say that I'm not actually using a webcam, I'm using a camcorder for this, because the camcorder has HDMI output, which allows it to connect into my HDMI picture-in-picture box. So that's how I'm getting the webcam feed. It's actually coming from a camcorder and feeding in through the rest of my system. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what to do here. Is that what that is? Kitsune says, AAlib is the Linux video library that converts video frames to a pure ASCII output with limited color support. I've used it and it's amazingly accurate. I've seen it. It is amazingly accurate, isn't it? It's insane. In fact, that library is one of the most impressive pieces of software I've ever seen. It's accurate and it's fast, too. It runs in real time, doesn't it? And the funny part is, if I did that, it would probably have more pixels on the screen than there are in the real game right now. Start over here. Let's try going backwards. Like that. It's a little bit of a delay. Ooh, I've got two of them in the right position now. Okay. So let's try just doing one of them. Okay, now it says hit and transpose. So I'm going to change that back to a 0. And what should I do? So I took that off, which means maybe one of these is supposed to be a 9. Maybe it's supposed to be 2, 9, and 0. Okay, that doesn't go there. 1. And put the 2 over here, and the 9 over here. Again, I have 2 in the right position. And one of them is completely wrong. Kitsune says this is like Mastermind. Is that what this is cloning? I want to get at least one of these right. Let's try 192. I'm not really good at these kinds of things. Okay, that's definitely not it. I'm putting that back the way it was. So again, 2 in the right position. Let's try 9, 2. Well, see, I'm transposing, and it's not telling me to transpose. So that means I have one of them that is completely wrong. So instead of moving the numbers, I should be incrementing them. So 912. Let's try incrementing the middle one. 922. Okay, so we know that the 1 is correct. So don't mess with the 1. Let's try 012. We know the 9 is correct. So basically we just increment this until we find the right number. Let's go back to 0. Aha! That's it! It makes all kinds of happy noises when I win. Okay, so that's Mind Reader. Now I'm going to try Nim, which is game number 2. And start the game. Okay, so what happens here, I guess it's like randomizing the starting thing here. Okay, so the idea with this is you are playing against the computer, and these numbers on the screen represent piles of stuff. So the first pile has 7 objects in it, the middle one has 3, and the last one has 11. You can choose one pile to take any number of stuff from, and the object is to be the person that takes the last object from the table. So, when I was doing this before, I think what you do is you tell it what you want the pile to be after you take your stuff. So I'm going to just completely eliminate this pile if I can. So the computer is taking their pieces. Okay. So now there's 3 and 3. So I can't leave it at 1 because then the computer can just take the entire other pile and I automatically lose. So I'm going to take this one down to 2. And of course the computer does the same fucking thing. But now that it's at 2, I wonder if I can just take one of these, or take it down to 1. And the computer takes 1. And see, now the computer wins. Because I have to take one of these, and then the computer takes the other one. So the computer wins. Bullshit. Lose. This is a harsh system for when you lose. Okay. Reset. Okay. Maybe I should leave that other pile here. Let's take this out, I don't know, down to 2. See what that does. I know this is the kind of game, if I play it enough, I'll figure out a strategy to it. Yeah, then the computer just basically eliminates that pile. I'm going to leave that one alone, though. For some reason, it feels like that's what I should do. Let's take that one down to 1. And the computer wins again. Because I have to take one. And then the computer takes the other one. Big fat dick. Computer's a dick. I don't care about winning this game, actually. I don't know, maybe let's try it one more time. Okay. I don't really know what I'm doing here. So if I take these two, the computer could remove that middle pile entirely and force me to take that one. How can I force the computer to take... I don't think I couldn't. I couldn't force the computer to take that pile. So I'm going to take it. See, look at this bullshit. It's already trying to fuck with me. Kitsune says you must force the AI's turn into any permutation of 0, 1, and 1 to win. That makes total sense. So how can I force it to be 0, 1, 1? I think that means... Yeah, see, I am developing a strategy here. So I think maybe 3 would be a good place to take on and take 1. See, I think I've probably lost this one. Because if I take 1, then the computer's going to take 1 from the other pile, and then we just end up in that thing again. If I take 2, then the computer's going to take 2, and the computer still wins. So, alright, let's get this over with. Kitsune says there is no maximum draw size for one turn. Actually, I don't know. I think there is, actually. Because I think I found that out while I was testing. Jormweir's got the right idea. He says, hold the console over a bathtub of water and tell it to throw the game or else. I'll tell it, I did the same thing to the toaster, and you're next, bitch. Fucking toaster wouldn't toast my toast, so I fried it. Kitsune says, oh, the AI can draw more than one to win. Yes, it can. I'm going to put this one on 3. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It stopped it at 3. Wonder if 11 is maximum draw size. No, there's not a maximum draw size, because I can take this pile, which has 14, all the way down to the bottom. I'm going to take this down to 3. This is probably a mistake. I'm going to do that. You fudge fucker. Same fucking thing again. Okay, clearly I don't know how to play this game. Ah well, let's just end it. Bitch fucker. I guess it could be worse. It could be saying, you're a loser. Y-O-U-R, loser. Like Big Rigs. You seen Big Rigs? Man, that game's a piece of shit. Yep. Kitsune's got it right. He says, you'll take turns decrementing by 1 and lose again. That's exactly what happened. So anyway, that is the last game that I had planned to play on the stream. I think that's the last game. Let's check the description. I put the games in the description. Yeah, name is the last one. So I'm gonna call that a recording. So for the people that are watching on the recording, I'm glad you watched. If you want to know when I am live streaming, there's 2 ways you can find out. You can either follow me on Twitter, which you'll find a link to my Twitter profile on my YouTube channel page, or you can subscribe to my channel on the YouTube Gaming app, which you can download and install for your favorite device. So that's that, and this has been interesting. I have more Fairchild Channel F games to play on a future stream, and I've bought more that haven't arrived yet, so I'll probably be playing this a few more times. So until then, see ya.